I've always had it. Why didn't I think of this before? Happy accidents, light bulb moments, systematic design. Hi, I'm Ron Paulk, and this is my smart wood shop. If you want to get a detailed set of plans to build a smart wood shop, one of the smart workbenches, or any of the accessories that work with the system, that's right, it is a system that works together end to end. There's a link in the description of this video down below. Past couple of weeks, I've had a few projects that's required me to break down a lot of plywood. So I've been using the Paulk Smart Bench with the TSO parallel guides, getting my rips, the Smart Crosscut to crosscut all of the material, making these cabinet sides. I've been using the Smart Workbench with a lot of its accessories, like the router table over there to do the grooves, and the panel jig that I built for doing planing doors and mortising doors, but it also is ideal for edge banding. So I was able to use it for edge banding. When I do that, I put on the wood clamp, and that makes the edge banding go quick. I just clamp it in the holes, the dog holes in the top of it. There were two of them, I think, and they were 3/4 inch, and they didn't line up with the MFT system. So I plugged them, and I drilled 20mm holes, 4 of them, across the top. And when I did that, I did the layout based on the MFT, so they're 96mm spacing. I didn't have a specific reason to stick with the 96mm. I just went, okay, it's a system. I don't want to think about the potential. I'm going to just make it match. So I installed it on the far side of the bench so that I could leave my crosscut set up and then go over and do my edge banding and have nothing interfere, so I can rip, I can crosscut, I can edge band, and leave it all set up. I don't have to take one thing off to do another. Nothing interferes. So when I put this over there, I could have put it down. You know, this wood clamp will mount anywhere around the bench, but I knew I was going to do it on this side, and I just dropped it on this end. And the dog hole was in perfect alignment with the dog hole used on the crosscut. So there's only one spot on the crosscut where you cut. You cut the same place every time, and you can see the kerf line there. And so with my sacrificial strips on here, I can lay my plywood on and I can just crosscut, crosscut, crosscut. Well, as it turns out, to do that, this dog goes, there's an X. The dog always goes here. And I looked over and saw the dog hole on the wood vise was in perfect alignment, of course. And it will go out further than the bench. So what I ended up with is now I can cross-cut wider material. Now, I don't need to do that very often. I designed this so that I could deal with up to 30 inch, which is really all I ever run into with cabinetry. But occasionally, I'm not doing cabinets, maybe I'm doing something else. So now I can go 36, a little bit more than 36 inches on my crosscut for these accurate, repeatable crosscuts. I knew when I designed this that I could always create an extension, and the extensions would look exactly like a router table. In fact, I could use a router table as one. And if I put that over there, I could even go wider. It's just neat that this is a situation where I will set it up this way on a regular basis. Again, because I've got my ripping, my cross-cutting, my edge banding all set up. And I can go just from one operation to the other without breaking anything down. And with the storage underneath, really comes in handy because all of my edge banding tools they go right over there. It was a lot of fun to have an actual project where I needed to do these different operations in low volume, so that I didn't need to, normally with cabinetry, I've been doing a lot of ripping, a lot of cross-cutting, and then a lot of taking over for the grooving, just one step at a time. Still the way I do it. But a lot of times, if I'm building one piece of furniture or one cabinet or one bookcase, I'm going to go through all of those operations, and it's nice to be able to leave everything set up and be able to just go, from one to the other. The Crosscut extension wasn't the only aha moment. This is an extension for the Crosscut to allow me to crosscut longer material. Rarely happens, but if I have a pantry to do or something, then the amount that I can crosscut out to, I don't know, around 6'8" or so, I would be limited. The standard stop reads right off the number, so I don't have any offsets to calculate. This one, I just set this into the cut that I want. So if I go to 18, then I know that my cut is going to be plus 600 or 2,400 millimeters. So now from the track over here, the crosscut, I'm able to cut really long material. The aha moment came over here with the Smart Station. This could work exactly the same way because it's the same design with the original Total Station version 1, version 2. The miter extensions were built into the bench. So they were flush with the front and they were flush on the edge. They had to be because I didn't have this concept of things going on top. I didn't have the luxury to do this stuff. And then to get longer, I had an extension that plugged into the end. So it extended this surface. With a scale, that can be a little bit of a problem for accuracy over time because you're hooking them together and it's wood, and it was pretty good. I didn't have much trouble with it, but it was just one of the things that when I was completely rethinking the station that I thought about. So with that system, I was limited to how much I could use my stop and cut without putting the extension on. So almost 100% of the time, I would have one of the extensions on one side or the other for longer cuts. I wasn't mobile at the time, which means I didn't have wheels on it like this. So it didn't matter so much. I had to pick a spot and set it up. But when I was able to put it on the top, I decided that I was going to make the basic one enough to do 80-90% of my cuts. And that's how I ended up with this length. I still have the really long ones that from there give me over 8'6" of cut. They take away from the wheel mobility because I have the sawhorse supports that go on there. But they connect all the way to the saw. They're independent of these. These come off, those go on. It's nothing but one of these and longer. So if I'm not running base molding or crown molding or some of the 16-foot goods that I have to go through lots of, I'm only using these extensions. But there are times that I want to make a cut. I think I can go out to 55 or around 1,400 millimeters with these. But occasionally I do want to go longer, and I got to looking at this and thinking, I've always had it. Why didn't I think of this before? So to build a set of these that I can actually use the scale, I'll have to calibrate the end so that whatever number I put it on, then whatever the length is, in this case 600 millimeters, and I might be able to go a little bit longer, will calibrate out perfectly. So it's just a matter of modifying this design slightly to work with the Smart Station. This extension design is included with the Smart Crosscut. So if you have this and you have the Smart Station, then go ahead and just take this design and just make that little bit of modification. Go ahead and make yourself two, a left and a right, and make that modification so that whatever number you put it on, you're going to just add that number to it to keep it simple. If you found this video helpful, then next you may want to check out this video right here. Mahalo for hanging out with me in the Smart Wood Shop.